Welcome to the Hall of Fame, where we have chosen 8 famous boxers who have stepped into the NTOTB ring over the last 1.5 years of boxing. The map we've gone with, of course, is the map where it all started, and we will finish where it all started with our world title fight featuring St. Ike versus Saffers for the NTOTB world title, which is going to be an unbelievable fight. But tonight is all about the Hall of Fame and about giving back to the fighters we have seen and watched over the last 1.5 years. Z-Dog?
Yeah, man, it's very impressive line of people. I was just looking around the room, man. Just some very impressive boxers just lined up and done some fucking remarkable things over the time, man. So exciting right now.
Yep, it is very exciting stuff. Now, we'll be kicking things off with the first Hall of Famer to be inducted, as he will be randomly chosen. And I've pulled out of a hat. We have got Talmira. Talmira will be the first person to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Talmira, where are you?
Just above you.
Alright, yeah, can you come down to the ring?
Z-Dog,
you can... Alright, there he is. Z-Dog, you can induct the one and only Talmira.
So Talmira, just fucking, for those of you that don't know, just showed up randomly and smashed us, and then set a new record for IC champion. This guy just came out of the blue and just fucking wrecked us, man. I could not believe it. Such an impressive fighter, an impressive array of fights. Couldn't quite get the world champion though, Tal. Any regrets, man?
I came so close, but it was just out of my reach. Hell of a fight to try for it though.
Damn, man, like so close, and then yeah, just couldn't get it. But we had high hopes for Talmira to knock those off and get rid of that bloody song, but no, we had to listen to it for a bit longer.
If you don't know one of the actual records Talmira has set, he holds the record for most IC title defense with 6 title defenses. It was once one of those days where we just knew he was actually gonna he was gonna destroy somebody, and he did. He took out 6 guys in a row to break the record for most IC defenses. It just shows you, from a guy who had never boxed, he came in on his first tourney, he won the belt, and then 6 defenses later, look at that, he makes himself in the Hall of Fame. Talmira, what do you remember about those 6 defenses?
I had a heated rivalry with Fire Bullets. A lot of those defenses were from Fire Bullets. It was very fun.
Z-Dog, like to finish him off. What would you like to say?
Yeah, man. Look, like I said, impressive run. The guy just came out of nowhere, ended up being IC champion for so long, hung around, ended up being a moderator, but in the end of it, progressed pretty quickly in every way you could in NTOTB. So yeah, impressive, and it's been a pleasure boxing with you, Tal.
Talmira, we hope to see you in the ring in the future. It's not over for you, mate. You really were one of the best at the time. You were pound for pound number 2, but when Doge was your world champion, you know, he was unbeatable, and we all know what happened with how he did, which we'll get to later on tonight. But Z-Dog, any last words to send him off with the Hall of Fame badge?
If boxing comes back, are you coming back, Tal?
Killing spree.
Yeah, I'll give it a crack.
Excellent.
Alright, thank you, Talmira, for the years you've given us, and yeah, thank you very much, Talmira. Now, the next person I'll be randomly choosing from my hat is gonna be... It is gonna be the one and only... hang on. Alright, it is gonna be... Chewy Chips. Chewy, come into the ring. Now, if you don't know who Chewy Chips was, he was the... Well, you can kind of say this. He was the, basically the Doge of the, when NTOTB boxing first started. But this is some of the records he has held. He actually holds the record. He's the one he's the one person to hold the NTOTB title. Sorry, the NTOTB world title twice. He's the only person to be the two-time world champion. Now we all know what he was involved with, Z-Dog, and we say this every time. He was involved in a Chewy Chips Kawashi trilogy, which is still standing as the only trilogy we have ever had in NTOTB boxing. Z-Dog, we all know those days. Mate, we all know those days, don't we?
I will get to that. There's a couple of things I wanted to say about Chewy first. For those of you who don't know, Chewy Chips was world champion in a time when we had crit still enabled on Melee. Now, with crit still enabled, you could cop 2 punches and be out. There was no 5v5 punches, you know. If you got fucking hit twice, you're gone. So for Chewy to be a world champion at that time was actually very, very fucking impressive. And then to take on people like Kawashi and PK and still come away world champion.
As well. Strife.
Yeah,
Strife.
Yeah, so the list was pretty long in a time that was very fucking difficult.
But Z-Dog, let's not forget. At least we forget the trilogy with Kawashi, which is the only trilogy we've ever had. Basically, what a trilogy is, guys, is he's had 3 fights with his rival Kawashi. Now Kawashi is fully quit TF2 today, but then you can still see Chewy occasionally on. So Chewy is still around. He's a great guy to be around, I have to say. Z-Dog, what do you think about that trilogy that we watched? It could have gone either way any time, wouldn't it? It was unbelievable.
Oh yeah, man. Like those blues were intense. Everybody was always on the edge of the seat, and everybody always looked forward to watching them. You know, so it was a brilliant time.
It was a good time, and we know who Chewy lost it to. He lost it to Sini Kiev. He actually held the title for I think the second longest in running. He held the belt for at least 1 to 2 months. We all know who held it the most. We'll get to him later on tonight. But I mean, he Chewy, he had an impressive streak. He was on a good winning streak. He only lost a few times, and he also was going to represent NTOTB in an promotional fight at one point, but that unfortunately went downhill. But yeah, so thank you, Chewy. Z-Dog.
Yeah, man, impressive history with Chewy Chips. Now he's just a scrub noob with no unusuals or anything. But a bloody good boxer, mate. Good on you.
Wait, am I muted?
No, you're not. Chewy, you have any words to say?
Hey guys. Yeah, thanks for all the support over the years, boys. I enjoyed my time here, but you know, CS gave me away. I still miss you guys. Like, I feel like boxing sometimes, but yeah, it just doesn't come. Anyway, thanks, boys.
Chewy, you know you're very welcome, Chewy. And I also forgot to mention, he was out of action for at least 5 months, and he competed in the Year 20 in somehow made the quarterfinals, which I'm still speechless about. Do you remember, Z-Dog? He made the
No one expected Chewy to come back, rust or fuck, and get to the quarterfinals. No one. And then to do that, that's pretty good, Chewy.
Alright, before I send you off, Chewy, just remember that trilogy with Kawashi. He went down in history. If you don't know the stats, I'll tell you them right now. The first fight, Kawashi won 6-2. Second fight, Chewy won 6-0. At third fight, I actually have on film. I'll actually give you a link at the end of the night. That fight, it was unbelievable. It went 6-4 into what was a great fight where, what I can remember at most, both guys had lots of issues, and the lag was actually made the fight better. So Chewy, thank you for being an absolute god, and we'll see you hopefully in the near future. Okay.
Yes, thank you, man.
Alright, so the next boxer I would like to induct into the Hall of Fame is going to be Fire Bullets. Fire Bullets, here he is.
Fire Bullets. Fire Bullets, for those of you who don't know, actually won our end of year unusual tourney. Now I do believe that's the hat, isn't it? Fire Bullets? That's the hat. That's the hat he won. The first time anybody seen Doge go down was to Fire Bullets. No one seen it coming. We all hoped for it, and then he did it. I'll tell you what. Of all people, I was stoked. Fire Bullets came out of the blue corner, man, and took away the unusual. I was pretty happy about it. But yeah, Fire Bullets, impressive fight. Beat me a few times. I got a few things I'd like to say about that, but I won't. And yeah, no, it's very good.
Also, one with Fire Bullets, as Tom said earlier tonight, he said that he had some of the best fights with fire, and I can actually agree with that. There were some unbelievable fights that they had. There were some unbelievable fights, mostly for the IC belt, and in the last fight, I think that they met. I think Fire won. I'm not quite sure. I have to go back to the rankings, but every fight they had, it was close. Oh, it was close. It was very close. Yeah, Z-Dog, what do you know? What did you say? It was unreal.
Fire Bullets had a pretty good style, for those of you who can't remember. He was pretty impressive at the long stuff, but he could handle the short stuff as well. And a few times I thought he was going to run Doge in. He couldn't quite get there, but a few times I thought he was going to take it. And then in the end, he got him in the unusual tournament. So yeah, we've seen it coming. It just took a bit longer than we'd had.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. Fire, do you have anything to say? You know, do you have a mic, or you can chat, talk?
Yeah, I've got it.
Chat? Yeah. Oh, you got a mic? Sweet.
Well, throughout the whole last year and all that, I was actually pretty active and all that, and I was just competing just for fun. It wasn't for like challenges or anything. So I've had a lot of fun, and it's going to be sad to see the server go.
Yeah. So anyway, Fire, we thank you for the good memories. The end of your tourney was probably the best time for your career, as you took Doge to a defeat. First time we ever seen that. And yeah, we thank you for Fire Bullets. Alrighty,
yeah,
the next guy to be inducted into the Hall of Fame will be Saint Ike, who is actually going to be fighting tonight. Anyway, Saint Ike, you can come in the ring. Now, for those of you who don't know who Saint Ike is, he's probably out of all the fighters, he's only been around probably the least amount. He's probably the new fighter, but why I chose him? But why I chose him to be in the Hall of Fame is very simple. Because he won the world title as a rookie. He came in and he made the biggest impact out of anybody in such a short time. He won the IC belt only about 2 weeks in of his boxing career with NTOTB, and he won the world title from Doge. He also represented Snexy Trading as their interpromotional fighter, which is fight against. Also had a fight against Doge in that category, which is a very rare thing to have in an interpromotional fight. But this guy truly knew what he was doing. He won the world title of Doge, which at first I thought that was an impossible task to really do, which was an impossible task for anyone to really do. And actually I was not there to see Saint Ike win the belt, but Z-Dog was. Z-Dog, do you remember that night?
Oh, the upset. No, fucking, do I remember that night? Jesus Christ, man. No one saw it coming. No one. And then it came, and I'll be fucked. We were done. I mean, I know that I wanted Doge to get knocked off because I was so sick of hearing that fucking, whatever that fucking song was that he had. but when he got knocked off, I was so disappointed. I'm like, fuck, Doge is gone. You knocked him off, but man, somebody had to do it, and it was Ike. Ike did it.
Yeah. No, yeah, that is right. And then there was a rematch, also a extremely closely contested rematch, which I actually had the honor of being there for the rematch. Not that night, but the rematch. I wish the first fight would have been filmed because it would have been hilarious to see what Z's reaction was by the sounds of what he's saying. But yeah, I mean, say hey night guy, simple as that. He's been around probably the shortest time that all these people have done, and he's basically won everything. He's won most of the titles that most people have actually won, and he's that dominant. Say Ike, what do you have to say? During your only a few months, during your time.
Well, I've pretty much left T2, but I still love boxing and still love the server, but yeah, I'm disappointed that it's going, and pretty much, yeah, I can probably still fight, but I've been playing other games, so it's like shit.
If you have a hang around, guys, at the end, I'll do a bit of explaining on what's going on, but we'll go on with this for now.
Okay, so thank you, Saint Ike. I hope to see you in the future, and good luck with the world title fight tonight, guys. Don't forget there's a world title fight tonight, which will be the last ever fight to ever take place on NTOTB. So yeah, thank you, Saint Ike. Now we'll be heading off to probably the most inspirational fighter and one of the most dominant forces of all time, Z-Dog. You know who's coming up next, right?
Well, how many's left after that?
Well, it's only me, you, and nobody. The other person can't make it, so there's only one person, one fighter before me and you left.
Okay.
And
yeah, man.
I think we know who it is, mate. I think we know who it is.
Man, I'm gonna throw a bit of controversy out here, but I don't think his heart was in the last two fights. If I'm honest.
If you're honest.
If I'm honest, oof. I think he gave up before he lost.
Alright, well, still, mate, nonetheless, we got to give it for the man himself. It is the one and only Doge. Doge, come in the ring. Wow.
Fucking hell.
Well, talk about great fighters. What a guy we have here. Is there anything this man has not done? He's the former world champion. He's the former IC champion. He's the former two-time season champion. He's the former interpromotional champion. Defended the world title with a whopping 11 times. 11 times. Z-Dog doesn't get any better than Doge.
That's what I'm saying, but like, how can someone win so much, never lose, look so strong, and then just one day it'd be over? He had to have he'd had to have given up. You don't win that much and then just be over. So look, the fights that he had were just, he dominated 95% of the server. Like, he didn't just beat them, he fucking handed them ass on a silver platter, all nice and shiny.
Oh, that is exactly right. And we talk about the guy mostly every time we think about boxing. We talk about him almost every time. He holds the record for the most world titles. 11 defenses. Z-Dog, I can name all the defenses that he had, and I swear, mate, you're two of them. Z-Dog. You're two of those defenses.
Man, mine would have to have been the most abysmal attempt to the fucking shot at the world title ever. Didn't he trounce me like 6-0 both fucking times?
I know.
That was
and we talk about him. When we talk about him most every time. Now, what Doge was most dominant at, he just dominated most of the fights, which means Z-Dog told about. He usually wins about 6-1, 6-2 on a good day. When he loses literally the opposite direction. However, tonight is on a night to shit on somebody. Tonight is a night to talk about what this man has actually done for us. He also represented us in... He also represented us in our group. He represented NTOTB against the National Heavy Boxing League, and he won. He came out on top, and he really put a stamp
There wasn't anyone Doge couldn't beat. If Doge was onto it and he brought his game, it was over. Like, he had a long game, he had a short game, he had an aggressive game, he had a defensive game. Like, there wasn't a game that you could play against Doge which he couldn't turn around and jam you with. Like, all-time greatest boxer by far.
He is. He's one of the best. He probably is the best boxer we have seen. He's probably the greatest of all time. No offense to all the other Hall of Famers. You guys have all done your part to make it in this Hall of Fame. But Doge is Doge is the guy that I could say that he has won it all. Doge, if your mic is on.
Without a doubt, man. Doge took it all away. He set the records. The only reason he didn't set the record for IC champion is because no one could beat him. So he never had a chance to set the record for IC champion. He just sat in world champion the fucking whole time. It's unreal.
Now, Z-Dog, can you guess how many months Doge held the belt for? Just have a guess of how many belts.
If I had to guess, it was what, mid-season, mid to end season he kind of won, and then he dominated that season, then just about dominated the next season. It would have to be like 9 months. Is that right?
Yeah. It's about 7 months, 6 to 7 months. He won the belt in May 2014, I believe, and held it all the way through, I think, till March 2015. So it was a hell of a run. He held it for about 9 months. Exactly what you said, Z-Dog. He won 2 seasons, so it explains it. He was the first ever season champion and the second champion, back to back. Yeah, Z-Dog. Do you have any final words for the man himself?
Yeah, man. It's sad to see that you left here too. You're a bloody good admin moderator. You progress pretty quickly in both in the server and in the game, man. I'm just glad that you're a part of the team, dude. Very impressive fighter and good staff member as well.
Yep. So Doge is he's the best. Doge, have any final words to say? Just type it in chat. We can stand by. Do you have any final words of like how you think and everything? It was a good run. I agree with you. 1.5 years, and out of those 1.5 years, you held the belt for about 9 months. Onto those 1.5 years. So you were about 3/4 that whole motion.
I hope you're kicking ass in CS:GO. That's all I can say, Doge. Is, man, if you do anything like you are, no, alright. Thank fuck I'm not in CS:GO playing on the other team. That's all I can say.
Okay, Doge. I'll leave. It was actually one of the best experiences watching. Humiliation. Like legit watching you fight. One of the best experiences I've ever done. In a ring. Anywhere. Soil on you could dominate 100%. And just before you leave, I want to talk about that promotional fight you had against We Gotta Be Sneaky, which was a very highly built up fight. And Dog, before we leave, do you have anything about that fight? It was hosted on our soil. Of course, Sneaky had about 200 ping, but did that really make a difference?
Look, man, fucking those trounced him. Let's be honest. You know, I mean, ping or not, the guy didn't have a chance. Those is on, mate. No one had a chance. It didn't matter who you or where you come from.
Alright, thank you, Doge. It was an honor watching you fight. Now, we were going to the next Hall of Famer. It is the one and only the now former co-manager of NTOTB Boxing, the one and only Z-Dog. Let's just say he's also the former IC champion. He never got hold of the world title, unfortunately. That's something that he just couldn't do. But he, other than that, he was a runner-up of the season as well. Former head admin of NTOTB did all the things you could really ask, and at a time where I was struggling, you could say, Z-Dog, I would ask Z-Dog whatever I need to ask, need to give me a solution. Z-Dog, Hall of Fame, wow.
Man,
welcome.
When I joined this server, dude, you know, like this server had everything it needed. It had everything going for it. And when you asked me to do the boxing, man, I was pretty fucking stoked. I'm like, yeah, I'll be in that shit. And like I said, I didn't expect it to go as long as it did, and it was a very enjoyable time. Seen some good boxes, seen some really cool stuff. So yeah, no, it was good. It was my pleasure by far.
Now, Z-Dog, lest we forget your two-time spree of being the IC champion. You were IC champion 2 times. The first time you won it was back in early stages of the NTOTB. Won it at a very controversial, although with Strife only having half of his damage put on. So you didn't win it properly, but you still won it nonetheless. I could not have seen it going the other way. But then in that next fight, you got pounced. But who would have expected literally about 6 or 7 months later, you climbed the back of the top of the IC title? What is your feelings about that? I mean, what do you think about that?
Oh man, have you heard the saying, even a blind squirrel finds a nut every now and again? I found 2.
Well, I mean, what can I say? I mean, Z-Dog, it was a very awesome run that you had during those years, and you only lost to top contenders, like, you know, you lost to Doge, you lost to Strife, you lost to PK, you lost to Cine, you lost to most of the top level guys who, you know, you would see at a good level. And here and there, you lost to me. I'm not bragging, but you lost to me occasionally. Even you lose to me, and I'm not that good. So, like, you know, seeing you in the ring, it was an experience because A, you were funny, and B, I didn't want you to win, so I could just shove it in your face that you lost. But because me and you you know, we were always going at it, since you were blue manager and I was red manager, it truly made, you know, a really good difference. I mean, what do you have to say about, you know, you being the co-manager and everything?
Well, I mean, I got a few things, but like you said, man, I was beaten by some of the best, and if you're going to get beaten, it might as well be by the people that end up going ahead and taking out titles and fucking setting records. So I got no disappointments about who I fought and who I lost to. Yes, I might have lost to you as well, but I also beat you. But yeah, fun either way, man. You know, so no, it was a really good time. You know, really good fights, a lot of fun. If I didn't get busy and have to work Monday nights, I would have stayed with the boxing, but you know, people's lives change.
I know, that's exactly right. You weren't with us for the last 2 months of it, which was quite upsetting, and we had to do a lot of changes to everything, and, you know, it had to come to an end, of course, since the server's coming to an end. But nonetheless, when I first saw you come to the server, I just knew from that very day that you had to be by my side, because A, you were very confident, and B, you just knew your shit, basically. So it was good. It was an experience being by your side for mostly everything, for commentary, for being co-manager, for being the whole founder and everything along your side and everything. He was an experience, and I thank you.
And now it's time to move on, and it's time to move on to the whole reason why the boxing existed. Now let's be honest, guys, if it wasn't for Clayface, none of this would have happened. None of yous would have stepped into the ring. No one would have won unusuals. No one would have won keys. No one would have won any prizes whatsoever. Clayface started the boxing a long time ago and kept it running, and only ever, fuck, the guy only missed shit. People were dying, or he could not get to a computer. I mean, Clayface gives me a lot of credit, man. But if Clayface wasn't here, we would have never done it. We would have never had the boxing. We would have never had the stadium. We would have never had probably some of the new maps. Every Monday night, he just about packed out the server. And you could always guarantee the auction might have died in the arse. You know, some of the events we had, but the boxing always ran, always went well. If he didn't run it himself, he got someone else to run it. One of the most reliable fucking staff members you could ever ask for. So, you know, look, Clayface, like I said, if it wasn't for you, there was no boxing.
Oh, look, I mean, it was a hell of a run. And I achieved my dream, you know. I set up lots of, you know, exciting things for you guys. I thank all the people in the server, you know, supporting me along the way and pushing me to actually, you know, take my dream to actually do what I wanted to do. I also had a dream that I wanted to go fight against guys in the States, so I set that up. I did everything I had to do to achieve what I had to do, and it's what, you know, everyone says that I was, you know, that I was a shit boxer at times. Yes, I can admit that. I wasn't a guy who was interested in winning titles. I was a guy who simply wanted to, you know, promote this thing and make it the best that they could be. And I could happily say that, you know, NTOTB boxing got to the best level it could. It got to a level where we were the biggest boxing promotion in the game. And I can still say that right now. We are still the best, even though we are closing down, and, you know, it is a sad time for everybody, but, you know, it was awesome. I had a lot of fun, truly. And all the people here, I handpicked. I respect all of you. I truly do.
No one will ever say anything about Clayface stacking the things. I mean, I just did, but we won't go on with that. But anyways, look, man, he had a bloody good run, and it's a shame, Clayface. I'm so disappointed those times you didn't get to the IC champion or didn't get yourself a belt, man. And if anyone deserved it, you did, man. But in Clayface's defense, it's very difficult to run an event, deal with so many people that just want to come in and fuck it over for you, and then try and get your head together to try and box well. So, you know, I can understand why you didn't get a belt, Clayface, but yeah, it's very impressive what you did and what you did for us, man. And yeah, look, I'm sure I speak on behalf of everybody in thanking you for giving us such a good run.
Yep, clap. Nice everybody. That was the Hall of Fame, but we're gonna have a 10-minute intermission, and just before we have the intermission, I thank everyone for, you know, Hall of Faming. I really appreciate everything that everyone has done, and guys, stick around. We're gonna have the world title fight, and yes, Sea-Dog, it's the last ever world title fight. Well, it puts tears in my eyes, but I mean, guys,
just the trade server is closed and the group might be dead, but as far as I know, Beasley's still running a jump server. So for those of you who get a bit nostalgic for NTOTB, feel free to head over to the Rocket Jump server. It's still here. I don't think it's closing, and Beasley could still use your support. So don't forget about him. He might not be doing trade, but I'm sure he'll still be doing jumping.
Z-Dog, when he said pack a server,
humiliation,
I just did it. Right there, when times like this were hard, I packed a server. Look, we've got about 20 people in right now. It's unbelievable.
Good, man. The boxing's always been an impressive event. People just loved it, man.
Alright, now guys, stick around. We're gonna have about a 5-minute, 10-minute intermission, because Sappers is getting dinner, so he'll be back in 5 minutes, hopefully, and then we can have our last ever world title fight featuring Saint Ike, the former world champion, versus the former and last ever IC champion, Sappers. Stick around.